Hello friends, welcome to my channel Go Digit. Today in this video we will extend our learning of Power Apps and the Business Central with respect to Dataverse. Right. So from the past 2-3 weeks we have uh, learned about like how to create the Canvas apps in the Power Apps and integrate them to bring the data out from the Business Central via usual published Microsoft APIs in the Business Central. Right. So now apart from the Canvas apps, we have the concept of model driven apps here as well in the Power Apps. Right. So model driven apps are basically more so over related to the Dataverse. So Dataverse, if I say it sounds like a fancy term, but it's like a foundation. It's like a data source for the Power Platforms. So for example, Power Platforms are like Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, and so on. Okay, so basically these platforms does not have its own data. They carry the data, they borrow the data from some other platforms which have the databases, right? So suddenly sometimes maybe if we are building an app which depends on multiple platforms, right, which are giving us different sorts of data, so rather than uh, doing the connection at the runtime, what we can do, we can prepare a data source in this Power App only, and connect them with respect to the other platform, so that the data will reside only in the Power App tables. Right. So Dataverse is kind of a, you can understand, as a database of the Power App, which have the data from the different platforms. Right. So there will be two concepts which we will learn in today's video. First thing is that we will create a new table in this Power App and connect that table with the web service of the Business Central, and then see whether the data is available automatically or not inside my table. And the second thing is we will configure the Dataverse in the Business Central and see whatever updation we do in the Business Central, that automatically being reflect in the Power App or not. Okay, so let's begin with the first thing is that we have to open the Power App and select this tables, right? In case although right now all the tables are showing up here which have the related apps are already installed in my environment. In case this thing is not showing up, then you have to create the table environment or create a database environment for your Power App. So when you click here, it might appear that you don't have any environment, create an environment. So you click on that button, it will create a Dataverse for you in your Power App, and thus after that the all the related tables will show automatically in your table section, right? So now the thing is, let me create a new table first here. So I'll click on that, add new column. So now this is the name of my new table. So what I can do here is I can change it to BC vendor, let's say. Okay, so this will be the name of my table, and let me change the column name here as well. Like first will be vendor number, and the data type of that vendor number will be text only, right? So and text, and required means that this is essential, it's like a primary key of my table. Update, and then add a new column, let's say vendor name, it will be of text type only. Save, let me add one more, like posting group, and it will be also of type text. So once you're done with that, like how much columns you want in your new table, you can add so, and then click on create button. So once you click on create button, you can see that it is giving you the overall summary of your table which you have built in the Dataverse, right? So currently it does not have any data. Okay, the table is blank. And one more thing is that right now only one column is showing up to me, plus 20 more are also visible. So if you click here, you can see that some other existing columns are available, which which you might feel that I have not created these fields. So these fields are automatically added by the Power App only. So you are like not you should not worry about it. But to view like your own fields which you have created, what you can do that you can select those fields and then it will be show up here, right? So now currently you can see that the table is there with me, but it is blank, and the option is also showing up here that create an app. Using this table you can create the model driven apps. But what will I do after creating an app which based on this table, because it does not have any data? One thing is I can input manually the data here and then I can do the things, but I want to connect this table with one of the table of my standard table or the custom table of my business center. So to do that, there is an option here called import. So you have to click on import, and then whether you have want to import a data from Excel, you can do so. Whether you want to import a data from some other platforms, you can click on the first option, and now it is giving you that window. So now you can see here that it is asking me to choose a data source, right? So basically, because if you open the business central right now here and go to the web services, right, we all know that in case we want to expose the data of my tables via pages, I can create the web service of that page and then it will be available to the other platforms, right? So for example, I can see here that one of the vendors web service is already available. Okay, so what I can do, I can select this service and copy the OData v4 URL here. In case you feel that you don't want to use this standard table, standard page, and you want to use your own custom pages tables, then you have to click on new button and define your custom page here, and then based on that it will be uh, available, or you will be able to connect to that the Power App, right? So right now I have copied the OData v4 URL here. Go to the Power App again, select the OData here, and now here it is asking me the URL. So in the URL we have to copy, sorry, let's copy this link again, and we have to paste that link here. Not sure why. Let me click like this, and if I copy that link here, I can paste here like this. And now the create new connection, yes, I want to create a new connection. This will be my connection name. Authentication kind, I can select organizational account. Okay, so as soon as you select the organizational account, it is asking you to sign in. So click on the sign in button and pass your business central credentials, right? So this is my username, right? This is my sandbox environment, so I can select that, and you can see that it is now connected to my environment and to that service. So now click on next, and now it will show you like whatever the data inside your vendor table which is exposed via web service, that this is the data you have which will be connected to the table of the Power App, right? So yes, very much okay. Then click on next, and now it is asking me that whether I want to load this query data to my any new table I want to create, or I want to link this to the existing table. So yes, I want to link this to the existing table because I already created a blank table for it for this. And here now you have to search your table. Okay, so our table was, I think, BC vendor. If I can turn down, no, why it is not showing? It should show up. CDN company, I think this is the one, maybe. Yeah, table display name BC vendor, right? So now I can select whether I want to select any key or not. It is an optional thing, right? Because I already define a key in my table, so no need here to select the key. Now let's connect the fields, right? This is the field of my Power App table. So for example, in the name, I want to connect the name field of the Business Central with this field. For the posting group, let me select vendor posting group, this one, and for this let me select number. Right, now I have linked and mapped my table and fields, so click on next, and now it is asking me to select the refresh option. So let's go with the refresh automatically, and let's say refresh every 30 minutes, which means that after every 30 minutes a service will run which will check the data in the Business Central, and in case any new data is inserted inside the Business Central or modified, then that data will be automatically get synchronized with my Power App table, right? So after this thing, let's publish, and I think after a few seconds you will see that the data of your vendor will be automatically being shown in your this BC vendor table, right? So if I go to the table again and click on the BC vendor here, I think it will take some bit of time, no problem. So meanwhile, this is the first way through which you can create a table inside the Power App. This is basically a Dataverse only, and link that table with the Business Center, and based on this you can create a model driven apps. Now let's understand the second thing. The second thing is to configure the Dataverse in the Business Center only. So for that, let's say I'll go to the assisted setup, and you come down here and you will see this option called set up a connection to Dataverse. Okay, so you have to click on this link, and then let's click on next. I accept, next, and as soon as you click on next, it is now showing you the option of your existing Dataverse environments automatically. If I go to the PowerApps, you can see here that I have two environments here which are Dataverse environments, Contoso and BC Dataverse, and that's why it is showing automatically. In case you don't have a Dataverse environment, then it will not show anything here. So that's why I told you that in the starting only you must first create the Dataverse environment in your Power App, and then only it will be showing up here automatically. Okay, so based on like whatever you want, you can select your environments. So for example, let me select Contoso here, or click on OK. Okay, so as soon as I select OK, the links are showing up here automatically of my environment. This is the environment URL of my Power App Dataverse environment, right? After this, clicking on sign in with administrator user, that you have to authenticate your environment URL which you have provided into the setup. So select your account, and based on that it will be automatically checked and authorize you to access this service, right? So now administrator is signed in, and automatically next button is showing up here. Click on the next, and now it is asking me some default options like choose an ownership model, which will be team or person. So you can go with the team only, because Microsoft also recommended team model, right? Complete setup without synchronization. If you don't check this mark, like if you check this mark, it while setup only, it will try to synchronize all the tables which are there in the Power App environment in the Dataverse with respect to the data inside in the business center, right? I don't want to run the synchronization at the time of the setup only. Okay, so I can select this one. In case you don't want to do that, you just omit this, right? So but sometimes if you put this to false, so sometimes based on the time taken by the environment, or for any other reason, maybe the data problems inside your existing tables, then it might give you an error and your connection setup will not configure properly. So that's why go with the true option on this, which sees that choose this option to enable the connection without the synchronizing data. Okay, so it will not synchronize in the configuration part only. Okay, so now click on next. It will take some time, I think, but then not more than, I think, yeah. Okay, so now it is showing up that there is a requirement to set up a business central virtual table app in your database environments to allow the business central to send business events to Dataverse, right? Use the link to go to the app source and install this app, and it is showing that the environment which we have selected, it does not have that. For example, if I select the environment, this one, and if I go to the admin center and select your environment, okay, so here you have to go to Dynamics 365 apps. So you can see here that this is the Dataverse base integration app is there, but the app which this setup is telling us, it's not there. Install business central virtual table app. Okay, so click on this link, and now once it's login successfully, get it now button will come up, and you have to click on the get it now, and it will install to that particular user environment. Okay, so here we have to select my environment in which I want to install Contoso. I agree and click on install. Okay, so now you can see that status is installing, In just few minutes it will be installed. Let's see. Let me click on refresh. It is still installing. So meanwhile you can click on the finish button. Okay, it is installing here. If I click on refresh again. Okay, so although the setup is done, but it is saying your app is still not installed. But we know that it is installing at the back end. So now you can see that the Dataverse connection setup is showing me up here, and if I click on test connection, that connection test was successful and the settings are valid. Right, so this is the Dataverse connection which you made in the Business Central for your Dataverse environment in the PowerApp. Okay, so basically, like if you click on the integration button and see this integration table mapping, you will find that certain out of the blue some standard tables are already being synchronized with the your Dataverse environment in the PowerApp, right? So for example, you can see in simpler terms, you can see that this customer is bi-directional, which means if you create a data in the PowerApp, it will be synchronized here. If you create a data in the customer, it will be synchronized there, right? So let's test that thing. So for example, okay, it is if I think I wrongly did that. Let me open the Business Central again. No, this is the wrong URL. Okay. Yeah. Business Central. And I think it will open up now. It is taking time more than the usual ones. If I click on refresh, yeah, it is installed, right? So let's close this one, and now if I type Dataverse connection setup, yeah, the connection is already done. Let's enable this one also, because app is already installed, right? So we will learn about this one also later on. I don't want to bring the concept of this app and the use of this app inside in today's video only, right? So now the second thing which we want to test here is that, for example, the table mapping of certain standard tables is already there. Let's go to the customer record, and if you see here, customer, you can open the customer card and go to the synchronize. You can click on synchronize log, and you can see some log is already been there, because synchronization is already been done. And if you let's let's create a new customer, so that we can see clearly whether the data is synchronizing to the PowerApp or not. Okay, let me name it test user, give some address, and if I now, after creation of this new customer, click on synchronize and click on synchronize button. It is giving us the prompt that customer record is not coupled to the Dataverse. Do you want to create a coupling? Yes. Uh, Keep this option as yes, use the business central data. Okay, and then if you select this, you will find that in the Dataverse you have the table called accounts, which is linked to that customer table. Okay, so I want to create a new record inside for this customer card inside my PowerApp table. Okay, and let's click on OK. And now if I see the synchronization log, we can see that it got failed. Click on this failed and see the error. Okay, the error is something related to the payment terms code. Okay, so I think let's, for the time being, let me do one thing. I can remove the payment terms code and again try to synchronize. Click on yes, create new, click on OK, and click on synchronization log. Still not done. I think we have to first go to the Dataverse connection setup again. And click on integration table mappings. Select the customer, synchronization, run full synchronization. Okay, it is scheduled, and now you can see that one thing is inserted. If you click on that, it is not showing up anything here. But let's go to the PowerApp and let me refresh my PowerApp environment, and this is my table account. If you open this and come down, you can see my new customer is showing up here, test user, right? Because now the synchronization is done successfully, and that's why the new user is showing up there, right? For example, if I try to click on create a new customer again, and this time second user, some again address, and let me remove the payment terms because last time we received an error for this. Click on synchronize, yes, create new. Okay, you can see the log. synchronize, synchronization log. It is not running from here. I'm not sure why, but let me go again to Dataverse connection setup. Although we can schedule this to run the service after some time, so that you don't have to do everything manually. But let's run full synchronization. Okay, select the customer, sync all, yes, and if I go to integration table mappings, customer, log, and if I see the PowerApp again, refresh the app, and it's still not synchronized. I think maybe the synchronization is still running. I think now it will run the full synchronization. It is taking time, guys, not sure, but you have seen here that when we create a new record, it get automatically being attached or being integrated or transferred to the PowerApp, right? So this is the way through which we can not only create a new table in the PowerApp and uh, link that table with the Business Central table, so that the data can come automatically, but we can configure the Dataverse in the Business Central, and then automatically the data gets transferred to my Dataverse tables, right? And based on this, we can create the model driven apps, which we will learn in the next week. We will try to create some apps based on the model driven capabilities, and see how well we can use the service of the Dataverse with respect to the Business Center and the Power App, right? So I think that's all in the today's video. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.